Have you ever had fried ribs? Well, we know we have to clean them first. I'll show you how to fry ribs in this next video. Now, of course, we're going to start out by rinsing our ribs, soaking them actually, in some cool water with white vinegar and some kosher salt. We're going to rinse all of that off and we're going to blot them dry with a paper towel. But first, I just want to show you what seasonings I used. I used yellow mustard. I use UEKG, my artisan hand blended seasoning. We use David kosher salt, and then I also use some swine seasoning just to give it a little smokiness. So here we are with our rinsed and soaked ribs. Now, the thing is, we're not through cleaning them yet. Do you all clean your ribs? As in, I know that most people remove the silver skin, but I just feel that here lately, after you start to see so many stores put their ribs on sale, it just seems like the ribs are much fattier than they used to be. And so, yes, we have meals like this sometimes where we know it's not the healthiest, but what I always try to do is I actually try to take just a little bit more care in cleaning up the meat, especially if I know it's a fatty piece of meat. So here I'm showing you where that silver skin runs right alongside the backbone. Now I'm at a peculiar angle, so you want to be very careful with your knife and getting under the skin. Like I said, I would have had a better handle on it had I been at a regular angle, but I wanted to make sure that you all were able to see clearly how all you have to do is run the knife between that silver skin and the bone. Run the knife between the silver skin and the bone, as you see me doing here, and you just get that first piece started. And then what you want to do is you want to get a good handle on the entire rack of ribs and you want to pull it. Now, if the silver skin is not really thick, you'll see me just score the back of it. I'll just score the silver skin, but this one is somewhat thick, so I want to go ahead and take the time and pull it off. If it doesn't come right off, you just kind of use the sharp part of the knife, put it against the silver skin. So you have your thumb, the silver skin, and then the knife. And you see how you want to bring it all off in one piece, just like this. If you start letting it break up, it'll be just that much more time consuming and tedious. But you see, I literally pulled the entire silver skin off the ribs with one tear. Okay. So that's ideally how you want to do it. And the trick to doing that is making sure you get it loose, the first part. Now, do you see all this extra fat, y'all, under the silver skin? So, oh my goodness, we take this, look at that. Look at all the extra fat. We take the silver skin off, first of all, because even whether you're grilling the ribs, frying them, put them in the oven, you want your seasoning to be able to permeate the meat. That silver skin is thick. I'm showing it to you right there. It doesn't have any flavor. It's literally just in the way. And I had been cooking for years and nobody ever told me this. And quite honestly, I don't think people have always done it, because I didn't start seeing people do this until the days of social media, quite honestly. So now that I know better, I do better. I've been taking it off for probably about, I would say at least about 5 years. And y'all, I know this looks very dangerous the way I'm handling this knife. So please just understand it's the angle that I'm at. I wanted to make sure that y'all could see it. And I'm using precaution. So make sure when you do this at home, the number one rule of thumb is the sharp part of your blade. See that sharp part is pointed away from me. So when that knife has to flick up in the air, instead of me, the knife retracting back towards me, it'll go up in the air. But I just got that first piece started, and now you see I'm using the back of the knife to pull again. Now this one wants to tear. it wasn't as thick as the silver skin on the other slab. Again, this is dangerous the way I'm doing this, y'all, because you don't want the pointed part of that knife to go in the very fleshy palm of your hand between your thumbs. So just be careful. But I'm sure you all know that. If not, let someone do this part for you. But your ribs come out so much more tender because you're not chewing through this silver skin. Look, y'all, see how I work with it until it got even. Now I have one even flap, and oh my goodness, do you see that? It looks so satisfying just to see this come off as I'm looking at the replay myself. I hope it's just as exciting for y'all.
Wow.
Okay, now look at what this rib does. So the rib has a flap on it, almost like you would see on a spare rib. These days, y'all, they mark them on sale, and when I get the ribs, I'm like, is it St. Louis style? Is it baby back? Is it a spare rib? But this one does have the big wide bone, so they are in fact St. Louis style. I'm gonna show you all how, now that the silver skin is off, and I'm so relieved, I'm looking at the top flap and I see that there's silver skin there as well. So if there's an area, you just want to start on the end. If there's an area where you can enter that knife, again, with the sharp part of the blade pointed up, and then you use the sharp part of the blade to help you pull the skin, because this is fat. There's fat in between the actual flesh part of the ribs and the actual silver skin. So things are gonna get quite slippery. And it really helps to have gloves on for me. But you just pry away at it, and the thing is, don't let it turn into little bitty pieces because it will take you forever to get it done. Try and keep that silver skin intact as one whole piece as long as you can. Okay, so now you'll see that I'm taking it off the flap. My goodness, there was some wrestling required with this. And I started to feel like I was trimming a brisket. Like I don't ever recall having this much fat and skin on a slab of ribs. I honestly don't. But you will see if you just stay with me, these ribs turned out delicious. I'm going to show you how we continue to clean them up. So this is the end of the silver skin. We continue to clean them up by using the sharp part of the blade and just running it against the back of the knife where you see all of that fat has coagulated. But here I'm just using the knife because it's just soft like lard, and see it's coming right off. So since that's there, I'm like, we don't want to eat that, right? These are already pork ribs. We're already about to deep fry them, honey. So let's take that extra fat off. Simple, taking your time with your food, taking your time with your preparation of the food can make a huge difference. Not only in the way that it tastes, not only in the texture, but also in terms of the effects that it has on you, because you do not have to ingest all of this extra fat and skin. Look at there. So honey, we're going to keep trimming, and then we're going to give it a final rinse. As you can see, this portion of fat actually has some flesh on the underside of it. Now this part is just a big flab of fat, so we're going to discard that. but there's also a piece remaining that has a great bit of fat on it, and I'm showing you the difference in the actual meat and the fat, because if you look at it, you can clearly see the difference. And you see all that fat attached right there in between this flap and the actual rib cage. I don't want to have to deal with that, so what I did was I went ahead and cut the flap completely off to get that fat from underneath it, and then we're just gonna fry that one little piece separately. It doesn't have a bone or anything in it, so it's just like a little piece of, there it is there, almost like a little piece of pork tenderloin. So we're giving them a final rinse. Remember, these ribs have already soaked in their vinegar salt bath before we start removing the silver skin. Now we're giving them a final rinse now that we've trimmed all of that extra fat away. And I started out with 2 racks of ribs. I'm just going to fry one. The other will be used to go in the oven for Sunday dinner, and I'll likely show you that demonstration as well. Don't leave now, stay a while. Click on the next video so I can show you how to fry these things right up.